Hi! In my last video on CSS animations, people were wondering what the difference is between CSS animations and JavaScript animations. And the short answer is that you use CSS animations for simple ones, like say loading animations, and you use JavaScript for more complex ones. If you want to stop, pause, rewind, or slow down, you have more control when you use JavaScript animations. Now, there are a lot of libraries out there that allow you to animate using JavaScript, but today we'll be talking about the Web Animations API, which is a standard that's being built into browsers as we speak. So there's support for Chrome and Opera, and Firefox is being actively developed, but other than that, it's very sparse. Thankfully, there's a polyfill out there that allows you to use Web Animations API today. And you can find it on GitHub, and it works on all modern browsers. So let's jump right into it. Here's an example with 3 circles. First, we want to add the polyfill. This should work on Chrome natively, but let's add it anyway, just in case you're using some other browser. Alright, so say we want to move this green circle up and down. So first we select that element. Let's say var green document dot query selector and dot green to select the green class. Now this green object has the animate method now. It's either provided by the polyfill or your browser natively. Now the animate method needs 2 things. One is the keyframes, which defines the steps in the animation, what the element should look like before and what it should look like after. So that's the keyframes. And the second one that the animate method needs are the properties of the animation, how long the animation should last, how many times it should be repeated, etc. We'll get into that in a bit later. So now we actually make some keyframes. So we said a while ago that we wanted to move this green circle up and down. So that would mean that we use the transform CSS properties. So take note that the keyframes is defined as an array of objects, and each object has the properties. And it's similar to the properties that you define in CSS animations. So here we translate this circle up by -2ems. And then, so that's the beginning of the animation. And then after, we wanted to translate 2ems to the bottom. Now if you notice, the green circle isn't animating yet. And it's because we're missing some properties of the animation. It doesn't know how to animate, like how long it should animate or how many times, etc. So let's define that in an object. So say duration of 1 second or 1000 milliseconds. See, it animates once, it defaults to once, but we actually want to iterate a couple times. So you can put in a number here, say 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. But for this example, we actually wanted to iterate an infinite number of times. So we just add in infinity. There we go. So now you notice that it is animating, but it's doing a bit of a jump. So what's happening is that it's animating from -2ems to 2ems, but it's not animating back from 2ems back to -2ems. In other words, it's animating from the beginning to the end, but it's not animating from the end to the beginning. So there's an animation property that we can define that tells us that it should animate from the end to the beginning, and that's called alternate. So as we see here, it's alternating from -2ems to 2ems and from 2ems back to -2ems. Another thing that you can do is you can change the way the element accelerates, and that's specified by the easing function. Now there are a lot of built-in functions, and one is ease in and out. See the difference between the original one and this one. There's also other functions like ease. See how the acceleration changes there. But for now, let's stick with ease in out. Now, like I said, you have more control over JavaScript animations. And let me just give you a quick sneak peek of the things that you can do to control your animations. So the animate method actually returns something that lets you control the animation that you just defined. So let's open up the console and let's see what we can do. So animation.pause, for example, if we enter that in, it stops, pauses, and then we can play it back again. This is something that you can't do as easily on CSS. So let's try animating the other elements as well, the blue and yellow dots. So as usual, get the element from the DOM, so document.querySelector .blue this time, and let's animate it. So first we need some keyframes. Let's say we want to move this up and down as well. So let's add transform again using translate y, -2ems, and say we want to add opacity as well. We want to change the opacity we want to fade in and out. So transform, translate y, 2ems, and then opacity 1. So as usual, this wouldn't work without any animation properties. So let's define the duration. Say 1 second again. And the number of iterations, infinity of course. The direction, we want it to alternate. And the easing, say ease this time. See how it fades in and out there. You can also add a delay on your animations, say ½ second. Now let's animate the final element as well. So var yellow, document.querySelector.yellow, and then we animate it using yellow.animate. All right, let's define some keyframes, translate. Let's say we want to move this right and left. So on the x-axis this time. So -2ems, move left, and then the final keyframe is 2ems, move right. And let's add some animation properties as well. Usual suspects, duration, direction, etc. Infinity. And let's use ease in out again. So now it's moving left and right. Say we want to actually, add scales too. So we want to scale it from nothing to twice its size. So scale 0 to scale, say, 2. It's a bit funny looking there, but that's our demo. So this tutorial has been very basic, and there are so many more resources out there, and I'll be posting them in the descriptions. There are podcasts and articles that you can read, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.